In recent decades, Hong Kong has moved from a manufacturing-oriented economy to a service-oriented economy such as finance and banking. As a result, many industrial buildings have become outdated and areas which were industrial areas before have become more commercial in nature. Therefore, the Donaldson government wanted to optimize land use and use of industrial buildings. Now, many private-funded industrial buildings are underutilized because fewer industrial buildings are needed in Hong Kong. Most industrial buildings in Hong Kong are relatively young and are built to diligent building requirements. Many industrial buildings are located in urban areas with good and improving access and connectivity. Take Kwun Tong as an example. It is close to the MTR ferry pier and lots of bus routes are available there. It has a good transportation system which allows people from all over Hong Kong to go there easily. Some are harbourfront sites with good views, generally strong floor loadings, wide corridors and large lifts. These buildings are suitable for conversion to various alternative uses. Under the current policy, older industrial buildings could be revitalized for other usages either through redevelopment or wholesale conversion. This has allowed the owners to update and change the use of existing buildings without paying a land premium, but with some restrictions. During the period until the end of 2013, the Land Department received 102 applications for special waiver for conversion of the entire buildings to other permitted uses. One of the bases of the new waiver fee policy initiative, the conversion will only be considered after the following criteria are met. The age of the industrial buildings should be more than 15 years. The proposed uses should be uses always permitted or approved by the Town Planning Board. The application for waiver should be submitted by the owner of the building or if it is in multiple ownership, jointly submitted by all existing owners of the building. The owners must retain the original building frame after the conversion and there should not be any increases in building height. The pie chart shows the distribution of industrial buildings in different regions of Hong Kong. As you can see, Kwun Tong has the largest proportion of industrial buildings. Construction sites are widely seen nowadays in industrial areas like Kwun Tong after the implementation of the revitalization of industrial building scheme. Then, what are the uses of industrial buildings currently? 33% of them is used as warehouse or storage, and other 33% of them is used as office. Here comes some current uses spotted in Kwun Tong. 8.4% area of industrial buildings is actually vacant. In fact, many industrial buildings have been converted into offices and their advertisement for leasing is commonly seen. The policy of the government transformed the isolated industrial areas into a lively community with lots of commercial buildings. In fact, about 70% buildings are built in the period between 1970 and 1989, meaning that most of them are eligible for the Industrial Revitalization Scheme. Examples include the Millennium City and the Landmark East. Both of them become the landmarks in Kwun Tong. Some industrial buildings are converted into hotels, for instance, Cosmo Hotel in Mong Kok. In this documentary, we focus on the reasons why hotels is one of the conversion choices. Recently, Hong Kong's tourism industry is booming. In 2000, the total number of overnight visitors was about 8,814,000, in which overnight visitors from mainland China account for more than 30% of the total. In 2012, the total number of overnight visitors was increased to 23,770,000. The percentage increase in this 12-year time was 170%. Those from mainland China accounted for more than 60% of the total, while the percentage increase of the number of overnight visitors from mainland China was about 458%. The number of people visiting Hong Kong continues to increase. This does not only stimulate local retail and catering industries, but also boosts the hotel industry to grow rapidly. However, the supply of hotel rooms does not meet its demand. Even though the hotel room rates rises drastically, there is still intense competition for hotel rooms. With increasing number of visitors, the destination consumption expenditure of overnight visitors increased from $40,794,000,000 in 2000 to $185,841,000,000 in 2012, an increase of 356%. The business receipts indices of accommodation services and the contribution of inbound tourism to Hong Kong's gross domestic products are continuously increasing. From the research figures, at the growing economic relationship between Hong Kong and the mainland China, the number of visitors, especially those from mainland China, will continue to increase. The growth of tourism industry and the demand for hotel rooms are predictable. Since Hong Kong's manufacturing industry has already declined, one of the feasible ways to enhance the value of industrial buildings is to convert them into hotels, which account for a higher rental rate per unit area and a higher rate of return. To enhance sustainable development in Hong Kong, the industrial buildings should be converted to green buildings. During the process of the conversion and refurbishment of an existing industrial building into a hotel, the concept of green buildings can be engaged. Green building is the practice of creating structures and using processes that are environmentally responsible and resource efficient throughout the building's life cycle, from siting to design, construction, operation, maintenance, renovation, and deconstruction. This practice expands and complements the classical building design concerns of economy, utility, durability, and comfort. The concept of green buildings is definitely a long and continuous process. To implement the concept of green buildings, 4 aspects are usually emphasized. They are the choice of natural resources and materials, the structural and building frame design, the choice of building services systems, and the operational management system design. These aspects are not to be aware of only during design and construction, but also the whole life cycle of the building. Some may think that developing a green building must be excessively expensive and definitely not worth the cost. Greg Katz, as a famous academic, had once written in his research that the design and construction of green buildings now cost less than 2% more than conventional buildings. And more importantly, the financial benefits far outweigh this added cost. For example, reduced energy, water and waste costs, reduced cost of moving, lower operations and maintenance costs, and enhanced productivity and the improved health of its occupants. For typical green buildings, these benefits exceed the additional cost within the first 2 or 3 years, and over a 15-year period provide financial benefits about 10 times larger than the extra cost of building green. Indeed, this depends on what systems or installations we choose to put into the target building. But many studies did show that it is feasible to achieve a balance between cost and being green. The famous researchers include Paul von Puttgarten, Robert Rice, Melissa Black, and Nuri Mehmet Gökhan. The refurbishment into a commercial green building is a point to note too. Many experts believe that green refurbishment could cost between 0 and 15% less to undertake than conventional methods. Also, green buildings have lower running costs of between 0 and 50%. Furthermore, it has been shown that a planned preventive maintenance program can save up to 15% of total energy use within a building and possibly increase the life expectancy of services planned in a building's fabric threefold. Even in a conservative view of thoughts, it is still feasible for us to achieve balance of cost in the refurbishment of an industrial building into a green hotel. As taken from the information provided by the Green Hotels Association, there are many successful examples of green buildings, which still operate and stands at the moment, though people commonly perceive and worry about financial condition. Francis Marion Hotel is a good example. It is refurbished from an old existing building. It is a 12-story hotel with suites, ballrooms, restaurants and lobbies, etc.